Hey, this is Trista. I'm with MF Magazine, and I'm here with Mike from Devil Wears Prada. So you guys are from Dayton, and you just travel around playing music. How is that for you?
Great. Kind of just fell in place for me, I guess, as far as like what I do, and I definitely enjoy it, and I definitely feel like it's what I should be doing at this point in my life.
So you guys were voted AP's Band of the Year. How is that affecting you as a group? Like, how much pressure is that putting on you? You guys have grown rapidly. What do you think about all this change that's happening?
I don't know. I don't think it's really much pressure. I think it's more of just like it's an honor, and we're definitely really excited about it. It was just kind of like a surprise, and it's like, I don't know, it's a title we were never expecting from AP, especially with their normal bands of the year like Paramore and All Time Low and all this, but definitely something we weren't really expecting to see, and really excited on, and real grateful for it. And I wouldn't say it really puts much more pressure on or like changes who we are. It just I don't know, it kind of just makes a better name for us, I think.
How have you grown, like, as a musician, as a man, and, like, watched your fellow, bandmates grow? Like, what has it done for you in the past 5 years?
We've definitely all grown a lot, especially seeing that we started, and Chris and I were 17, and, just growing from there. Obviously, it's it's a crazy time in your life from 17 to 21. Like, obviously, you go through phases and everything, but we still hold our faith perception the same way as we always have, but we definitely have all grown as people and our musical interests, and we look back at the old stuff, and we're not too pleased on what we used to be musically. We know we could do better, and I don't know, it's all a huge progression for us as people, like I said, being this part of our lives, and not being like a band that's like, in their 30s, and then 30 to 35 is way different than, 20 to 25. So we've definitely all changed a lot, and but we've kept the same members, and we keep the same goal in mind, and try to just work towards that and be understanding of one another and patient, I guess.
So Devil Wears Prada, it's kind of, you named your band after the book, but it kind of has a flip meaning, right?
Sort of, yeah. When Chris named the band that, it was just Chris, Dan, and James, and when I joined the band, I came up, I was like, I thought I knew what it meant, metaphorically, or the idea I had in my head, but after I read the book, I realized that it really didn't follow the idea I had, but we just went with it, and it kind of sucks now because I know it's a stupid name and everything, and if we could go back, we would change it, but it's too late now, and we work or we are who we are, and we just have to roll with it and hope for the best with a stupid name.
Your genre is technically like metalcore. You having the faith as a band that you do, how do you find it to keep spreading the message that you want to spread in kind of a hazy subculture of people?
You just kind of put it out there lightly, and you try not to make it too in your face, generally, and I don't know, we've always kind of, I think, walked the line that what we've always done, like, it's we haven't really needed to change, and it's never been like, oh, we were too light on the subject in this case, and we were too heavy in this case. Like, that was definitely something where people were like, oh, I don't like this. We've always just been in the spot where we're pretty comfortable with how we talk about God, and lyrically and at the shows. So I don't know. For me, it's always been pretty natural being the lyric writer and the one that talks about it. But like I said, it's always come natural, and I've seen so many bands where I'm like, as a Christian, I get uncomfortable when people talk about God. Like, I totally understand. I can watch bands and they start ranting about it, and I'm like, I feel pretty close to how this person feels, but like right now I'm just like, I feel awkward. So I know what it feels like to be in that spot, and I try to keep away from it, but at the same time I like it to really be known, to where people, if they know a bit about our band, if they've listened to us before, they would know that we have a message, and also at the same time to where they feel like they don't have to totally agree with the message to enjoy the music.
I read something about a lot of different opinions that you guys have as a band, the way that you're progressing, about the way you sound. Where do you stand on where you guys are going musically?
Musically, all of us are happy with the direction we've gone. It's not like any of us are like, man, I like how the old stuff was as compared to now, because most of us, I know me particularly, doesn't like the old stuff, and I don't really like playing it live is one thing, but listening to it, I can't stand it. But so I'm definitely happy with the direction we've been going, and I think our next full length is going to have a sound different than what we've had now. The EP will probably be something similar, but whenever we record our next full length, maybe before the end of the year, I know it's going to be something where I think it's going to be the most different we've ever been. The first three albums are pretty subtle in change, but this time we're not going to change ourselves musically that much, but I think the whole sound of it is going to be something a little bit different for us. So I'm definitely happy with progressing and getting away from what we originally were, but well, not so much getting away from it, but just getting better at it.
So you have a clothing company, correct?
Yeah, I ran a t-shirt line called Ship Shape for a long time, and I ran into some legal issues, so we ceased and desisted, if that's the word. And I moved on to a company called Traditional, which is a couple friends of mine have been running it for about 5 years, and I moved over there and just trying to give it like this adrenaline shot and rebuild it as a brand, and really make something that I can be proud of. We all definitely sit somewhere close on music, so I think, and not to sound cliche, but music is a big part of all of our lives, so it's something to where I think heavy music will have some sort of what's the word, like an element of that within the brand, but it's not going to be anything like what anybody has really seen before, especially around the younger scene and the screamo scene or whatever.
Devil Wears Prada is kind of it's like you said before, metaphorically naming the band. You guys represent like a fairly unmaterialistic lifestyle. So how does, like being part owner of a clothing line, like how do you find that balance?
It's, a lot of people seem to get materialism mistaken with like not owning anything. For example, people will say, like, we say, like, it's, materials aren't the most important thing, but that doesn't mean we're people that like don't buy anything. We're like, we like, big TVs and video games and like nice clothes, like anybody else. It's the Devil Wears Prada, from that perspective, in all of the lyrics, is not so much about like, don't support anything nice, because that's absurd to me. It's more of just not losing sight of what's most important, which is not, nice TVs and stuff. It's about like self-contentment and being happy and making other people happy, most importantly, and making a positive influence on everybody around you. And if you put other things in front of that, that's where we see the wrong, and you just need to keep your mind on being positive and more than other things, and that in our name and our lyrics don't mean that like if you see somebody with nice stuff that you should condemn them. Like, that's not how it works. It's like there is a line there, like I would say, like on a different subject, like there are some things people have which it's just too much, certain cars and such, but owning nice stuff isn't a sin. It's supporting people just like us, So if we were people that were completely anti-materialistic, like what some people see us as, then we wouldn't be selling merch, Like that's crazy. But it's just about the whole keeping morals ahead of you before materials.
This is Mike, Devil Wears Prada. I'm Trista, MF Magazine.